Most gardeners have heard that adding rice hulls or cornmeal can make soil richer and healthier. I used to believe that too. I added them to my beds year after year and expected improvements, but then something happened that changed my entire view of gardening. One season, I stopped relying on rice and corn, and that single change transformed my soil completely. The ground that was once pale, dry, and tired became dark, crumbly, and alive. Earthworms returned. Moisture stayed longer. Plants looked stronger and happier. I'm not here to say that rice or corn are bad. They offer some structure and a bit of carbon, but they only scratch the surface of what your soil truly needs. Over the years, I learned something most gardeners are never taught. Healthy plants begin with living soil, not fertilizer, not compost, not sunlight. Soil life is the foundation, and once you understand how to feed that life, your garden changes forever. Rice hulls and cornmeal sound natural and organic, and they are, but what they give your soil is mostly just carbon, like feeding your garden a bowl of plain rice. It fills the space, but it doesn't nourish. If your soil stays light in color, dries quickly, and feels dusty year after year, it's missing one key ingredient: life. Soil is not just dirt. It should be a living ecosystem full of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, worms, microarthropods. These organisms work together to feed plants from below the surface. When they disappear, soil becomes weak no matter how much fertilizer you add. Rice and corn are appetizers. Your soil needs the main meal ingredients that restore the underground ecosystem. Look at the forest floor. No one tills. No one adds fertilizer. No one sprinkles cornmeal. Yet the soil is rich, moist, and full of life. That's because forests follow the natural cycle of grow, fall, rot, rebuild. To garden like nature, we must stop treating soil as dirt and start treating it as a living organism. This is where soil superfoods come in. Ingredients that don't just feed plants, but feed the soil life that feeds the plants. Centuries ago, Amazonian farmers created soils so fertile that they are still rich today. Their secret was biochar, a black porous charcoal made from plants. But the key is this: biochar must be charged with nutrients and microbes before use. How do you charge biochar? First, mix 1 part biochar with 2 parts worm tea or compost tea. Let it soak for 24 hours. Then add it to soil at 1 cup per gallon of soil or just a light layer in beds. Biochar improves soil structure, holds moisture longer, and provides permanent homes for microbes. So, worm castings actually contain beneficial bacteria, growth hormones, and nutrients that are immediately available to your plants. They never burn roots, and they help your plants grow faster, greener, and, well, just a whole lot stronger. To use them, just mix 1 part castings to 3 parts potting mix for seedlings. For established plants, toss a handful around the base every couple of weeks. And if you want to make worm tea, just use 1 cup of castings in a gallon of water. Most modern soils, honestly, are pretty mineral poor. Sure, plants will still grow, but they often lack flavor, nutrition, and disease resistance. Basalt rock dust is a great way to slowly restore essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, and a bunch of trace minerals. Just use 2 cups per square meter of soil or mix it into your compost piles. Your vegetables will end up richer in taste, color, and, yeah, overall vitality. Kelp provides more than 70 trace minerals, natural growth hormones, and stress resistance. You can use it as a soil drench, just 1 tablespoon of kelp per gallon of water, or simply sprinkle it dry around your plants. Kelp really helps plants bounce back from heat, frost, shock, and pests. Now moving on to humic acid, think of it as the soil connector. Humic acid helps your soil hold nutrients longer, retain moisture, and makes minerals easier for plants to absorb. And then, there's mycorrhizal fungi, which form the root network. These fungi attach to plant roots and expand their reach by up to 300%, transporting water and nutrients between plants. Just sprinkle it directly on roots when planting and you'll get long-lasting benefits. There are simple, often overlooked ingredients you might already have in your kitchen, like fermented plant juice, lactic acid bacteria, crushed eggshells, and leaf mold. These add enzymes, microbes, calcium, and fungal structure to your soil, giving it a real boost. Here's an easy recipe for a soil smoothie. In 1 gallon of water, mix 1 cup of worm tea, 1 teaspoon of kelp meal, 1 teaspoon of humic acid, and half a cup of charged biochar. If you want, you can also add 1 tablespoon of fermented plant juice or lactic acid bacteria. Apply this every 2 weeks. This simple mix really feeds your entire soil ecosystem. Over time, your soil becomes darker, softer, more moisture retentive, full of worms, and rich with invisible life. Gardening just becomes easier, gentler, and honestly, a lot more rewarding. You stop fighting your soil, and you start growing with it.